Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna learn about this awesome product showcase with these buttons. You can see there's a ripple shader in the background with some subtle effects and buttons with pulse effect. When we click one of these buttons, a card that shows some info about that part appears, and it also triggers a more intense version of the ripple shader. And when we close it, background shader goes back to the lighter version, which results in a great product showcase page with great interactions and effects, right? You can find the remix link for the file in the description, and let's get started. Let's start with the info button component. It has a background with 50% opacity and a separate layer for its border to create that pulse loop animation. You can see in its loop effect settings, its opacity gets reduced to 0.3 in 2 seconds, as you see under its transition settings here. And on its hover state, its border opacity gets increased to 1 from 0.8, and in its active state, the card stack becomes visible. Also, a close icon is placed in the circle button. But we don't define any interactions in its component settings other than hover, as the click interactions are used to change the ripple wrapper component variants in the upper level. The card title and text elements are assigned to variables to edit them more comfortably in the ripple wrapper component. Let's get into the ripple wrapper where we gather all the interactions. As I said, we don't have any click interactions defined for our button component. We use the clicks of the buttons here to switch between different variables of this component. So in the default or first variant, we have sort of the lighter version of this ripple shader, which we can insert using this insert button and browse into shaders. We can see the ripple shader under the image category here. As I said, in the first variant we have the lighter ripple shader and don't have any cards visible, just buttons with pulse effect. And when user clicks a button, we switch to the variant that has that button's active state. As you see here, the first button goes to the variant 1 active. Of course, its active state has also its card visible. And that active state, of course, has the more intense version of the ripple shader. That's why we need separate variants for each button. I needed to redefine the button interactions in the new variants, since we need user to be able to view any card at any time, regardless of the variant that is active at the moment. So clicking any button takes us to that particular button's active state, and clicking close button in any variant takes us to the default variant of the ripple wrapper component, without any cards visible and with lighter ripples. I'd like to also briefly mention generating the background image in Firefly. Whenever I need to generate an image, I use Firefly boards, since I discovered it is the best way to keep your generations organized. You can also see my first try here, which is also good, definitely, but I thought my second generation is a better fit for the tutorial. To generate an image, all you need to do is click in this button and determine the AI model and some other settings here. And to see the information about your previous generations, all you need to do is click in this load button after selecting that particular image, and you can load the prompt that's used to generate that image and other settings here. So in this one I used Nano Banana 2, and you can see for this one I used Firefly Image 5 model. After deciding which image to use, all I did was downloading the image using this download button and uploading it as background image in ripple shader component settings. Let's check our page on Framer again, and thanks to all those, we are able to create this great product showcase page, combining the ripple shader component with interactions we set in the component. And that's basically it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, check my other tutorials, and see you in the next one.